Alright, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Thunder RC. And in this video, we're going to talk about my final thoughts between the X-Maxx ADAS and the Outcast ADAS. Now there's a lot to talk about. I know you probably have a lot of questions, so leave your questions in the comments down below and we'll get back with you on everything. If you've been watching the channel for a while, then you've seen a lot of these videos, side-by-side comparisons, just bashing, sending it off the death ramp, sending it off the mini ramp, going to the beach, shredding them at the beach, you know, going to gravel pit spots, going to dirt spots, and just seeing how they perform, how they bash. And they are two completely different trucks. I will say that. They're completely different all the way around. They cost about the same. I know some people say, oh, the Outcast is more expensive than the X-Maxx, or the X-Maxx, you know, vice versa. But really and truly, to get the upgrades in them that you need, to get the electronics in them that you need, and all of that, they roughly are the same price for each truck. So let's dig down into this. Let's see why I've come up with the decision that I've come up with. Alright, so let's dive into the X-Maxx here. So the X-Maxx is the most durable RC car on the planet, I'd have to say, if you run the stock motor. Okay, so the stock motor looks like this. I'm going to tell you right now, my biggest pet peeve with the X-Maxx is the motor. This motor is too small for this truck. It's just too small. You can see I have it pulled out of the truck. There's a reason. I've already blown through this motor. I burned it up on a 23 tooth pinion and a 46 tooth spur. You can see my spur gear is chewed up like a pit bull gun on there. And that's because as this motor got hotter and hotter, this shaft got loose in here and there was play. Thus my gear mesh was shot. Now, if you run this on an 1820 gearing, you're fine. But it's going to be slower than anything else. It's not going to do double backflip. It's not going to do crazy stunts. So you have to gear this truck up to get that performance out of it. So, no problem, right? You think to yourself, oh, I'll just get a bigger motor and an aftermarket mount like this, bigger pinion, set it in there, my problems are fixed, right? Look at the size and the weight you just added to this truck. Look at that. This truck was not designed for a bigger motor. When Traxxas initially built this truck, it was designed for this motor. This motor is really underpowered and too small for this truck. It overheats. I have it going to thermal shutdown every 10 minutes or so. Now this truck's a fantastic basher, but that is a huge downfall in my opinion. Also, you have to upgrade the ESC to a Hobbywing Max 6 ESC or something better. This is what the truck normally comes with, this Traxxas ADAS VXL Ventolin thing. This thing is junk. You have to upgrade your ESC, you have to upgrade your hubs. You got to put your front carriers on there, RPM carriers on there, and your rear RPM carriers on there with the oversized bearings. I also would recommend anodized caster blocks. Those plastic ones break fairly easily. And you got to do a drive shaft mod. I'll put a link in the description down below on a video that shows you how to do this drive shaft mod. It's amazing. You'll never bend another center drive shaft again. I just kind of came up with it over trial and error. It won't cost you anything. It might have to buy 2 drive shafts to get it done, to get the splines, but yeah, it's pretty cheap. Other than that, the X-Maxx is fantastic. It does not handle as well as, you know, other models because of the higher center of gravity chassis there and the, you know, narrow wheelbase that this thing has, because it is a monster truck. And when you have monster trucks are meant to romp over tall stuff and dirt mounds and everything else, so it excels greatly in that area. It excels jumping over mounds. It excels at the skate park. This is the skate park weapon. When you start putting bigger motors in this thing, you're going to have breakages, and I'm going to tell you why. The aftermarket mounts do not keep the motor snug and intact. When you're really hammering this thing, this motor's going to flex, this mount's going to flex, and your gear mesh is going to change, and you're going to burn through gears faster than you can say don't. Okay? And before you know it, you're going to have $300 worth in gears that are shredded. So that's why I do not run a bigger motor in this truck. Now, with that being said, M2C Racing has come out with a new motor mount, and I've seen videos on it. A sliding motor mount, and N2C racing is awesome. And I've seen some videos of some guys really hammering this truck with the bigger motor in it and the mount, and everything stayed intact. So I am very hopeful that that motor mount is going to be the answer to the biggest problem this truck has, and that's the motor. So I'm definitely going to buy one in the future and do a review on that, so stay tuned for that. Guys, I'm not bashing any brand. I love Traxxas. I love Arrma. I'm not getting paid to do this. I do this because I love it. You're going to spend your hard-earned money on a truck. I want you to know what you're getting. The X-Maxx is an amazing truck. You cannot go wrong with this thing. This thing is an absolute tank. It's a beast. But if you want something that's going to perform and it's going to have way more speed and not go into thermal shutdown and not shred gears, then this is the truck you need to start looking at here. So the X-Maxx was my absolute favorite basher, period, and I just dealt with the thermal shutdowns. You know, I'd run it for 10 minutes and then have to set it down and let it cool off, which is a bummer. Who wants to do that with their $1,200 RC? You know, the X-Maxx is flawed in many ways because of the motor situation, but not with this bad boy. Now, when Arrma came out with the first Arrma Outcast 8S, I'm not going to lie, that thing had a lot of issues. And as much as I liked it, it had a lot of breakages. The rod ends were popping off, the shocks were bananaing, the chassis would bend, blah, blah, blah. The story went on and on. You had slop in your steering and all that. But when they came out with the EXB lineup, I said, why not? Let's do this again. Let's give this another shot. And I'm telling y'all, I have been blown away by the performance and the durability of this beast. This thing is awesome. Now, out of the box, this thing comes as a roller, and you know it's got everything in it except your electronics and your motor, and I like that. So it's a little bit cheaper than the X-Maxx because the X-Maxx is an RTR. This you're getting at about $750, and you get to put your electrics in it. So, dude, thumbs up to Arrma for that, because in this truck, you buy the RTR for $1,000, and you got to throw the ESC away and get a new one and blah, blah, blah. In the long run, you're spending even more money on this deal, when this deal, you've got the truck you need, you've got the platform, you've got the chassis, you can throw in your ESC, you can throw in your Highway Max 5, you can throw in your 1100 kV or 800 kV or whatever you want to do. You've got a sliding motor mount that's just awesome. I've never had issues with this can in this truck, and I've sent it to the moon. It handles it like like a small motor. It doesn't even know it's in there. This truck is fantastic, guys. I can't say enough good about it. The wider wheelbase, the lower center gravity of chassis. Arrma has improved this thing. The shock rod ends, they don't break anymore. I haven't bowed any shocks. I mean, you really, if you take this to a skate park, because it's heavier, and you don't land everything on the wheels, you're going to break some parts. I'm not going to lie. X-Maxx wins in durability if you're running the stock motor. Keep the X-Maxx light, WD-40 or plastics. Nothing can beat this thing on durability. But this truck handles like a dream. It drives like a dream. This thing does standing backflips, no problem. Now, I know you gear the X-Maxx up, you put a bigger motor on it. Yeah, you'll get some standing backflips out of it, but you're probably going to shred some gears. This thing all day long. I've hit quad backflips with this truck. A quad backflip with the fifth scale. I could probably even do 5. I know that's something the X-Maxx is not capable of doing, unless you put an 800 kV in it and trencher tires on it. You know, this truck is amazing how it performs. Now, a lot of y'all say these arms are weak, they're like glass, they break. Okay, I've had some arms break on the smallest crashes before, but I realized a trick, and I'm telling you, if you're not doing this to your truck, you're missing out. This stuff right here, WD-40 penetrant fast acting. Take your arms off on your EXB. You can do this to your X-Maxx too. Hose those things down with the WD-40. Let them sit overnight. And then put your arms and stuff back on. I'm telling you. Put your rod links on. WD-40, your rod ends, all of this. Your wing, your wheelie bar, you know, your shocks. You will not believe the durability. How different this thing is afterwards. Your arms are going to be 10 times stronger. I promise you. And like I've been running these arms for 2 weeks now. Look at that. They're still good. And I am not easy on this truck, guys. I have a death ramp that's 5 feet tall and 4 feet wide, and I'm sending this thing 40 feet in the air. And if you land this truck on the wheels, you're good. Now, if you don't land it on the wheels, you are going to break something. I'm just going to be honest. You're going to break something because it's heavy. It's about 8 pounds heavier than the X-Maxx. Same with the X-Maxx, though. If you're really sending the X-Maxx, and I'm not talking about 10 foot, I'm not talking about even a 20 foot, I'm talking about a 40, 50 foot jump. I'm talking about sending it, guys. Even the X-Maxx will break if you don't land it right. That's right. When you're getting some serious height on these cars, you have to land them flat. Something's going to break. The Outcast, obviously, because it's heavier, you're going to break some things. Chassis, I have actually bent the EXB chassis. I did bend this chassis here. I could have went and got an M2C Racing, spent another $300 or $400 on M2C parts. And M2C's fabulous. Don't get me wrong. M2C's amazing. I didn't want to do that. I put the chassis back in the vise. I bent it back straight, put it all back together, and the chassis is fine. It's perfectly fine, guys. And this truck's amazing. Now, I do have the M2C Racing hardened steel drive shafts. These are a must for this truck. The stock ones do tend to bow and break and all that, but the M2C shafts, thumbs up. Thumbs up on that. So, if I had to spend my hard-earned money and I could only afford one truck, you know, from my experience, which one would I get? It would definitely be Outcast 8S EXB. All around, overall, this truck has put a bigger smile on my face. It really has. It's just an incredible platform. X-Maxx, I love it. It has been my favorite for years. You know, this is a classic, but this truck is kind of dated, y'all. You know, there hasn't been a lot released from Traxxas since then, and, you know, this truck is a lot newer. Okay? So, will Traxxas make a version 2 X-Maxx? Is it possible? Maybe they're working on it right now, and they're going to work out the kinks with this thing, because there are some kinks. This truck needs to be designed a little bit differently for the size and the weight. You know, there are some things and pet peeves I have about it, but it's still one of my favorites. Now, I want y'all to know I'm not brand biased. I own Traxxas and Arrmas. I love them both. I just want to be completely honest with you. I want to be honest with you guys from my experience. Okay? Now, I know some people's experience is different from my experience, and I understand that. I respect that, guys. We're all in this hobby together. We all spend our hard-earned money on this. We all enjoy getting out there and bashing. And look, man, if you like a truck, then you like a truck. If you don't like a truck, you don't like a truck. But whatever. I'm not saying anything to bash any brand. I'm giving you my honest review, guys, because I care about you. I care about everybody. I care about your money. I care about what you're spending. And I have put these things through literal bashing hell. You cannot bash these trucks any more than I've bashed them. I'm just saying that. You cannot send them any higher over and over. You cannot dog these things more than I have. And I'm telling you, from my experience of driving these things on a daily basis for years now, which truck I like better. And it would be the Arrma Outcast 8S EXB. Second runner-up would be the X-Maxx. Until we work out these kinks and these issues, that would be great. One thing I'd like to see for this truck would be maybe beefier rod end links, because these do tend to snap sometimes. And I don't know. It's pretty solid. X-Maxx needs a few things. I'm going to definitely put that M2C motor mount, sliding motor mount in, and the M2C center chassis brace kit. I think that's going to be awesome. Might be the big solution for this truck. I think what I'd like to see happen to the X-Maxx is that Traxxas blow this thing up, make it bigger, turn it into a 12S rig, and put an 800 kV mount, sliding motor mount in the deal. You know, same modular design, same everything, because this has been proven to be super tough. And maybe, you know, get better hubs on it so you don't have to upgrade the hubs. That would be sick. That would make the X-Maxx. Oh, wider wheelbase. Longer arms and wider wheelbase, yes, is a must. But guys, this is my review. I hope you like it. Please leave comments down below what you think. I'd love to hear your opinion. Like I said, I own both trucks. If you can afford to own both, man, it's fantastic because they're so different. You know, X-Maxx excels in many ways that the Outcast doesn't. When it comes to just romping over dunes and grass and hills and stuff like that. And then this thing is just like a racing beast machine that flies like crazy and backflips like crazy. And so there you have it, everybody. Those are my initial thoughts. Now, obviously, everyone has their own opinion, and I respect that. And like I said, I love both trucks. That's why I own both trucks, and I have a blast driving them. But I'm just trying to give you an honest review of my personal experience with both trucks. Now, if you have any, comments, anything that you want to say, something I haven't tried, or maybe, there's something I'm doing wrong, whatever, from your experiences compared to my experiences, please share that with me. I'm not biased in any way. I really want to give everybody my honest review and opinion of these trucks. And if you're going to spend your hard-earned money, you're going to spend, $1,200, $1,300 on an RC car, which one would you buy? It depends on what you're doing with it. If you're just ripping it around the dirt, you're just, doing speed runs, you're going to hit the ramp a few times, get some backflip action, you're all about more performance and handling, go Outcast. If you want to go to the skate park and just absolutely trash the thing, send it off the ramps and bowls and just beat the living dog out of it, go X-Maxx. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please tune in for the next video and like and subscribe as always, and I'll catch you next time.